If you grew up in the 90s, psychologists say your brain is wired completely differently, and what they discovered explains why you feel so out of place today. The 90s weren't just a decade, they were a psychological turning point. You grew up in the last generation to experience life before the internet took over, before smartphones, before social media, and that unique position created a specific type of mind that researchers are now studying intensely. You have something that's becoming increasingly rare, a pre-digital baseline. You remember life without constant connectivity. You played outside until streetlights came on. You called friends on landlines. Psychologists say this gave you something crucial, a mental reference point for life without digital dependency. You can disconnect because you remember what that felt like. And not psychological flexibility sets you apart in ways you probably don't even realize. But here's where it gets interesting. You're caught between two worlds. Psychologists call your generation digital immigrants. You weren't born into technology, you adapted to it. You can write in cursive and code a website. You remember encyclopedias and use Google. This duality makes you incredibly adaptable, but it also makes you feel displaced. You're constantly translating between two different ways of being human, and that creates a tension that lives quietly inside you. There's something else researchers have noticed. You experience nostalgia more intensely than other generations. Your childhood represents the last era of simplicity before everything became complicated and overwhelming. That's why 90s music and shows hit differently for you. They're not just memories, they're emotional anchors to a version of the world that felt safer and slower. When the present feels chaotic, your brain retreats to that time when things felt manageable. The way you were raised also shaped something fundamental about how you think. You waited a week for the next episode of your favorite show. You rewound VHS tapes. You had one chance to record a song off the radio. This forced you to develop patience and delayed gratification in ways modern kids never experience. You can wait, you can handle frustration, but the world no longer asks you to. Everyone around you expects everything immediately, and that mismatch creates a constant internal friction you can't quite name. Perhaps most importantly, you value authenticity over perfection. You grew up before filters and curated feeds. Your friendships formed without performance. Your mistakes weren't documented forever. Research shows this makes you less likely to present fake versions of yourself online. You remember what real connection looked like, so manufactured authenticity feels wrong to you. You're skeptical of the performance because you grew up with real people, not personalities designed for likes. But here's something psychologists are just starting to recognize. You're experiencing collective grief, not just nostalgia, actual grief. The world you were promised, the one you prepared for, doesn't exist anymore. You were taught to work hard, buy a house, build stability, but the economy shifted, technology exploded, the social contract broke, and now you're navigating a reality that doesn't match the blueprint you were given. That dissonance creates a low-level anxiety that never fully goes away. So if you grew up in the 90s, you're not just nostalgic, you're psychologically unique. You carry the memory of a different world, and that memory shapes everything about how you think and feel today. You're the bridge generation, standing between what was and what is, and that position is both a gift and a burden you carry every single day. If this resonated with you, subscribe now, because on this channel we explore the psychology of generations and the invisible forces that shape who